I'd been hearing variations of this conversation for 6 years. 6 years since I'd graduated with a communications degree and told my family I wanted to create content. 6 years since Dad had thrown my business plan in the trash and told me to stop embarrassing the family. 6 years since Mom had started introducing me at parties as our daughter who's still figuring things out. My sister Jennifer had become a corporate lawyer at 25. She drove a Mercedes, lived in a downtown condo, and never missed an opportunity to remind everyone, especially me, about her 6-figure salary. My brother Marcus worked in finance, pulling in bonuses that made Dad's eyes light up every time he mentioned them. And then there was me, Mia, 29 years old, still creating little YouTube videos from my one-bedroom apartment. What they didn't know, what they'd never bothered to ask, was that my channel had grown to 47 million subscribers. That my content had been viewed over 8 billion times. That I'd built a media empire spanning 3 platforms, generating revenue that dwarfed Jennifer's legal salary and Marcus's finance bonuses combined. But I'd learned early that explaining this to my family was pointless. They saw the ring lights in my apartment and assumed failure. They heard content creator and translated it to unemployed. So I'd stopped trying to correct them. Christmas dinner at my parents' house in Westchester was the annual reminder of my place in the family hierarchy. Jennifer arrived in her Mercedes wearing a Chanel suit. Marcus pulled up in his BMW, talking loudly on his phone about a deal he'd just closed. I took the train from the city, carrying homemade cookies I'd decorated for the occasion. Mia's here, Mom announced as I walked through the door, her tone carrying that particular mix of affection and disappointment she reserved just for me. Still taking public transportation, sweetie? It's faster than driving, I said, handing her the cookies. How thoughtful, she said, though she immediately set them aside. Jennifer brought wine from her firm's corporate collection. It's a 2015 Bordeaux worth $400 a bottle. Jennifer appeared from the living room, her phone pressed to her ear. I have to go, Richard. Yes, the partnership meeting is confirmed for January. She ended the call and air-kissed me. Mia. Still doing the YouTube thing. Still creating content, yes. That's nice. The pause before nice said everything. You know, my firm is looking for administrative assistants. The pay is decent, probably more than you're making now. I could put in a word. I appreciate that, but I'm good. Dad emerged from his study, Marcus following behind. There's my girl. Dad hugged me, then held me at arm's length. You look tired. Those late nights editing videos catching up with you. I'm fine, Dad. Marcus grinned. At least she's pursuing her passion, right? Even if it doesn't pay the bills. He laughed like he'd made a joke instead of an insult. We gathered around the dinner table, the same table where I'd eaten every Christmas for 29 years. The same table where I'd been compared to my siblings for as long as I could remember. Mom had outdone herself with the meal. Prime rib, roasted vegetables for different side dishes, and Jennifer's expensive wine. Let's go around and share our wins from this year, Dad suggested, raising his glass. This was a new tradition he'd started 3 years ago, around the time I'd launched my channel. It was his way of highlighting everyone else's success while my internet hobby got politely ignored. Jennifer went first. Well, I made junior partner this year. Youngest in the firm's history. My salary is now $340,000 base plus bonuses. And I'm being considered for the corporate litigation team that handles Fortune 500 clients. That's my girl. Dad beamed. Mom actually teared up with pride. Marcus continued. I closed the Henderson merger, $2.3 billion deal. My bonus this year was $180,000. And I'm up for VP next quarter. More cheers. More pride. More glances at me that said, see what real success looks like? Then it was my turn. I'm still creating content, I said simply. My audience is growing. The temperature in the room dropped by 10 degrees. Mia, Dad said, setting down his wine glass with more force than necessary. We need to talk about your future. You're almost 30 years old. These YouTube videos. Your little YouTube videos won't pay bills, he continued, his voice rising. When are you going to accept that this internet thing isn't a real career? When are you going to grow up and get a real job? Mom nodded vigorously. Your father's right. Look at Jennifer and Marcus. They have retirement accounts, health insurance, career trajectories. What do you have? A camera and some editing software. Get a real job like your sister, Mom added. Jennifer's firm is hiring. Or Marcus could get you an entry-level position at his company. You could start over, build something real. Jennifer leaned forward, her expression a perfect blend of concern and condescension. Mia, I say this because I love you, you're wasting your life. Content creation isn't sustainable. The algorithm changes, trends shift, and then what? You're 35 with no real work experience and a resume that says YouTuber. Marcus jumped in. Remember Kevin from high school? He tried the whole influencer thing too. Now he's managing a GameStop. Is that what you want? I kept eating quietly, cutting my prime rib into precise pieces. I'd learned that engaging only made it worse. Better to let them exhaust themselves. You know what hurts me the most? Dad said, and I could hear the genuine pain in his voice. We gave you every advantage. Good schools, college education opportunities. And you're throwing it away to make videos that 12-year-olds watch. Dad, I started. No, let me finish. Your mother and I have been talking. We think it's time for an intervention. This fantasy needs to end. You need structure, stability, a path forward. I have a friend who runs a marketing agency. They need someone to manage their social media accounts. Actual corporate social media, not this influencer nonsense. The salary is $55,000 to start. It's not much, but it's real. My phone buzzed on the table. I glanced at the screen. From Sarah Chen, Netflix original content subject. Urgent. Deal confirmation preview. Mia, the board approved everything. $50 million for 3. I picked up my phone calmly. See. Jennifer gestured at my phone. Can't even put it down during family dinner. That's the problem with your generation. Always connected, never present. I need to check this, I said quietly. No, you need to listen to your family, Mom insisted. We're trying to help you, Mia. These internet companies don't care about you. They'll use you up and spit you out. Do you even have health insurance? A 401k? Any financial security whatsoever? I opened the email. Mia. The board approved everything. $50 million for 3 documentary series over 18 months, plus back-end participation in streaming revenue. The PR team wants to announce next week. Your face will be on every entertainment outlet in the country. We're talking cover of Variety, Hollywood Reporter interview, Today Show appearance. I know you wanted to keep this quiet until after the holidays, but the trades got wind of it. Deadline is running the story in the morning. Just wanted you to hear it from me first. Congratulations. This is the biggest deal we've made with a creator this year. I set my phone down carefully. Everything okay? Marcus asked sarcastically. Did one of your videos get 1,000 likes? Mia, please, Dad said, and now his voice carried genuine concern. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to save you from a lifetime of disappointment. You're talented, you're smart, but you're chasing something that isn't real. Content creation isn't a career. It's a hobby that some people got lucky with. And luck runs out. Jennifer reached across the table and squeezed my hand. We love you. That's why we're being honest. It's not too late to start over. You could go back to school, get an MBA, build actual credentials. You're still young enough to recover from this mistake. Mistake, I repeated softly. Poor choice of words, Jennifer amended quickly. But yes, essentially. This YouTube phase has gone on long enough. It's time to join the real world. My phone buzzed again. Then it started ringing. I glanced at the screen, Variety magazine. I declined the call. It buzzed immediately with a text. Variety, Mia, we'd love to talk about your Netflix deal. Can we schedule an interview for tomorrow? Then another text from Forbes. Forbes Entertainment. Congratulations on the Netflix deal. We're running a feature on the new wave of creator-driven content. Available for interview. Then Hollywood Reporter. Then Entertainment Weekly. My phone was now buzzing continuously. Popular tonight, Marcus said with a smirk. Let me guess. Your subscribers want to know what you're having for dinner? I picked up my phone and scrolled through the notifications. 23 missed calls. 47 texts. All from entertainment journalists, industry publications, and news outlets. The Deadline article had posted early. Netflix signs mega deal with creator Mia Torres. $50 million for documentary series. The subtitle read, Streaming Giant Makes Biggest Creator Deal of 2024, Betting on Torres's 47 million subscriber empire. I turned my phone to face the table without a word. Dad leaned forward, squinting at the screen. His face went white. That's your name, he whispered. Mom grabbed the phone from my hand, her wine glass nearly tipping over. This can't be real. This is fake. Someone's playing a prank. Jennifer snatched the phone next, her lawyer instincts kicking in as she verified the source. It's Deadline. That's a legitimate trade publication. They don't post fake news. Marcus pulled out his own phone, typing frantically. Holy shit. It's everywhere. Variety just posted. Hollywood Reporter. Entertainment Weekly. They're all running the same story. He looked up at me, his expression a mixture of shock and something that might have been respect. You signed a deal with Netflix? For $50 million. The deal closed yesterday, I said calmly, taking a sip of water. They wanted to announce it next week, but someone leaked it early. The table had gone completely silent. Mom's mouth opened and closed like a fish. But you make YouTube videos. How does that? I don't just make YouTube videos, Mom. I run a media company. I have 47 million subscribers across 3 platforms. My content has been viewed over 8 billion times. I generate approximately $30 million in annual revenue through advertising, sponsorships, and licensing deals. Netflix approached me 6 months ago about developing original documentary content. Jennifer's face had gone pale. 30 million? Annual revenue. Give or take depending on the quarter. Last year was particularly strong. $34 million. This year will probably hit $38 million before the Netflix deal kicks in. Dad's hands were shaking. But you live in that small apartment. You take the train. You never. I live modestly because I reinvest most of my income into the business. I have a team of 17 people, editors, producers, researchers, business managers. I own the production company that creates all my content. The apartment is actually a studio space. I have a separate residence in Brooklyn. Marcus was still scrolling through articles. Jesus Christ. They're calling you the future of entertainment. Forbes has you listed as one of the top-earning creators under 30. My phone rang again. This time I answered. Mia Torres. Mia, it's Sarah from Netflix. I know you're with family, but I wanted to give you a heads up. The response to the announcement has been incredible. We've had 3 more production companies reach out about deals in the last hour alone. Disney Plus wants to meet next week. HBO Max is interested. This is bigger than we anticipated. I could feel my family's eyes boring into me. That's great, Sarah. Can we discuss this tomorrow? I'm at dinner. Of course. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted you to know, you're about to become very famous. Like household name famous. The Today Show wants you Monday morning. Good Morning America is calling. Late night shows are requesting interviews. Your life is about to change significantly. I appreciate the heads up. Enjoy your dinner. Mia, congratulations. You've earned this. I ended the call. The silence at the table was deafening. Finally, Jennifer spoke. You have 17 employees? 18 as of next month. We're hiring a new cinematographer. And you generate, you said 30 million. That's revenue, not profit. Profit is closer to $20 million after operating costs, salaries, taxes, and reinvestment. Mom made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. $20 million. In profit. From YouTube videos. From a diversified media business that happens to distribute primarily through YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, yes. Dad was reading something on his phone, his face growing redder. This article says you're one of the most influential content creators in the education space. That your documentaries about climate change and social justice have won awards. That universities use your content in their curriculum. The climate series won a Webby Award last year. And yes, I've licensed some content to educational institutions. Marcus set down his phone. I looked up your channel. 47 million subscribers. Your last video has 23 million views. The one before that has 31 million. That's more viewers than most TV shows get. Consistent viewership is key to sustainable revenue. Jennifer was doing math in her head, her lawyer brain processing. If you're generating $30 million in revenue with 17 employees, your profit margins are insane. That's better than most Fortune 500 companies on a percentage basis. Content creation has low overhead compared to traditional media. No studios to maintain, no broadcast licenses, no legacy infrastructure. Just talent, equipment, and distribution through platforms that handle the technical backend. Mom's wine glass slipped from her fingers, splashing red wine across the white tablecloth. She didn't seem to notice. All this time, all these years we thought. You thought I was failing, I finished for her. You thought I was wasting my life on a hobby that would never amount to anything. Dad's voice came out hoarse. Why didn't you tell us? I tried. 6 years ago when I first started I showed you my business plan. You threw it in the trash. When I hit 1 million subscribers I invited you to my studio. You said you were busy. When I won my first award I called to tell you. You asked when I was going to get a real job. The words hung in the air like smoke. Eventually I stopped trying, I continued. You'd made up your minds about what I was doing. Nothing I said would change that. So I let you think what you wanted to think. Jennifer's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and went even paler. Oh my God. My firm's senior partners are texting me. They saw the news. They want to know if you're the Mia Torres who's my sister. They want an introduction. For what? We handle entertainment law. Contracts, negotiations, intellectual property. A client like you, she stopped herself. I'm sorry. That sounded opportunistic. I suggested. She flinched. I was going to say, exciting from a professional standpoint, but yes, opportunistic works too. Marcus was reading through more articles. They're estimating your net worth at $60 million. That's before the Netflix deal. That's speculative. Most of my wealth is tied up in the business and real estate investments. Liquid assets are closer to $15 million. $15 million in liquid assets? Dad's voice cracked. You have more money in the bank than I'll make in my entire career, and you let us lecture you about getting a real job? You weren't interested in hearing about my job. You were interested in fixing what you perceived as my failure. Mom stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. I need a minute. She walked out of the room and I could hear her crying in the kitchen. The guilt I'd expected to feel didn't come. Instead, I felt a strange lightness like I'd been carrying a weight for 6 years and someone had finally lifted it off my shoulders. Jennifer cleared her throat. The administrative assistant position I offered you would have been a $285,000 pay cut from what I pay myself in salary alone, not counting distributions from the business. She winced. I feel like an idiot. You feel like someone who made assumptions based on incomplete information, I corrected. You all did. Dad was staring at his plate like it held the answers to the universe. I told my golf buddies that you were still finding yourself. I made excuses for you at every family gathering. I pitied you. I know. You knew and you let me. Yes. Why? I considered the question carefully. Because I learned something important over the last 6 years. External validation doesn't matter if you have internal certainty. I knew what I was building. I knew its value. Your approval, while it would have been nice, wasn't necessary for my success. Marcus laughed. A sharp, bitter sound. Jesus. She just gave us a masterclass in self-confidence while simultaneously destroying our egos. My phone buzzed again. Another call from a major publication. I declined it. The thing is, I continued, I don't need you to understand what I do now any more than I needed it 6 years ago. The Netflix deal doesn't validate my work. It's just a recognition of value that was always there. The 47 million subscribers don't make my content more legitimate. They just make it more visible. Jennifer's phone continued to buzz. My managing partner wants to take you to dinner. The head of our entertainment division wants to discuss representation. Mia, I didn't know. I have representation. CA signed me 4 years ago. CA represents you? Marcus looked like he might pass out. They represent A-list movie stars. They represent talent across multiple industries, including digital media. Mom returned to the table, her eyes red. She sat down heavily and looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. You decorated those cookies yourself. You brought them on the train because you thought we'd enjoy them. Even after everything we said, every dismissal, every comparison to your siblings, you still brought homemade cookies. I like baking. It's relaxing. You're a millionaire many times over and you brought homemade cookies to Christmas dinner. Yes. She started crying again, but differently this time. I'm a terrible mother. You're a mother who loves her children and wants the best for them. You just had a blind spot about what best could look like for me. Dad's phone rang. He answered without thinking. Hello. Yes, this is Robert Torres. You're from entertainment tonight. No, I don't have a comment. My daughter's career is her own. No, we're not available for interviews. Thank you. He ended the call and looked at me. They want to interview the family. Your family. About your success. They'll want a lot of things. I'd recommend not engaging unless you want to be part of the public narrative. Jennifer was frantically typing on her phone. I'm canceling drinks with my colleagues tomorrow. I told them I had family plans, but really I was going to discuss your situation with them. God, I'm a horrible sister. You're human. Humans make mistakes. Stop being so understanding, she snapped. We deserve your anger. We've been awful to you for years. What would my anger accomplish? Would it change the past? Would it make you understand any better than you do right now? Marcus rubbed his face with both hands. This is surreal. This morning I thought I was the successful sibling. Now I'm realizing I make less in a year than you probably make in a month. Success isn't a competition, Marcus. Says the person who won. My phone lit up with a text from Sarah at Netflix. By the way, your follower count has jumped 2 million in the last hour. The announcement is driving massive traffic to your channels. Congratulations. I showed the screen to my family. 2 million new subscribers in the last hour. Dad made a choking sound. How is that even possible? Network effects. People see news about the Netflix deal, they get curious about my content, they subscribe. The algorithm picks up the increased engagement and promotes my content to more users. It snowballs. You sound like you're explaining rocket science, Mom said weakly. It's not that different actually. Both require understanding complex systems, predicting patterns and optimizing for specific outcomes. The doorbell rang. We all looked toward the front door. Dad went to answer it. Through the archway I could see him talking to someone with a camera. A news crew. He returned looking shell-shocked. There's a reporter outside. From the local news. They want to interview you about the Netflix deal. How did they find our address? Public records probably. I'm listed as your daughter on several documents. More doorbells. More knocking. Through the window I could see several news vans pulling up. This is insane, Jennifer breathed. This is actually insane. My phone rang again. This time it was my business manager, David. Mia, where are you? At my parents' house in Westchester. Hey, you need to leave. There are news crews descending on that location right now. I'm sending a car to get you. It'll be there in 20 minutes. In the meantime, don't go outside, don't make any statements, and definitely don't let your family talk to the press. Understood. I ended the call and looked at my family. You should all turn off your phones for the next few hours. Delete your social media apps temporarily. Trust me on this. You don't want to see what's being said online right now. What do you mean? Mom asked. People are curious about my background. They're looking up my family, my history, my connections. Some of it will be kind. Much of it won't be. Don't engage. Don't read comments. Don't defend yourselves or explain. Just be quiet for a while. Marcus ignored me and opened Twitter. His face went gray. They're calling us out. People are posting about how families dismiss creators. Using us as examples of, oh God, someone found Dad's LinkedIn. They're commenting about how he works in traditional media and couldn't see his own daughter's success. Turn it off, I said firmly. He didn't listen, kept scrolling. Someone posted a photo from Jennifer's firm's website. They're analyzing her bio, comparing her salary to your earnings. This is brutal. Marcus, turn off. He finally locked his phone, hands shaking. The doorbell rang again, more insistently this time. Don't answer it, I instructed. My car will be here in 15 minutes. I'll leave through the back. You all should stay inside tonight. Tomorrow this will calm down slightly. By next week the news cycle will move on to something else. What do we do? Mom asked, and she sounded so lost that my heart ached despite everything. Nothing. You do nothing. Don't apologize publicly. Don't try to capitalize on this. Don't give interviews or make statements. Just live your lives. This is my career, my spotlight. You don't need to be part of it unless you want to be. Dad stood and crossed to where I sat. He didn't try to hug me, just stood there looking down at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. I'm proud of you, he said finally. I should have said that 6 years ago. I should have said it every day since. I'm proud of you and I'm sorry I didn't see what you were building. Thank you. That's it? Just, thank you? What else would you like me to say, Dad? He laughed, a broken sound. I don't know. I expected more anger. More hurt. More something. I processed my hurt over the last 6 years. I built something beautiful while you all worried I was wasting my life. The anger burned out a long time ago. All that's left is sadness that you missed it. Jennifer stood abruptly. I can't do this. I can't sit here and be forgiven so easily. We don't deserve your grace. Maybe not. But grace isn't about deserving. It's about choosing to extend it anyway. My phone buzzed with a text from David. Car is outside. Back entrance. Move quickly. I stood and picked up my coat. I need to go. The press attention will die down in a few days. Until then, keep your heads down. Mom grabbed my arm. When can we see you again? When you want to see me as I am, not as you wish I'd been. I walked toward the back door. Behind me, I could hear Jennifer crying, Marcus swearing at his phone, Dad trying to handle the chaos at the front door. As I stepped out into the cold December night, a black SUV waited in the alley behind the house. David stood by the open door. You okay? He asked as I climbed in. I'm fine. That was brutal. Your family had no idea. None. How do you feel? I considered the question as the SUV pulled away, passing news vans and reporters who didn't realize I'd slipped out the back. Lighter, I said finally. Like I've been carrying something heavy for a long time and I finally put it down. My phone continued to buzz with notifications. Interview requests, congratulations from fellow creators, messages from friends who'd seen the news. But I silenced it all and watched the lights of Westchester fade behind us. Tomorrow I'd be on morning shows, giving interviews, explaining my journey to audiences around the world. Next week I'd start production on the Netflix documentaries. Next month, I'd likely have meetings with the other streaming services Sarah had mentioned. But tonight I was just Mia. Still the youngest child in a family that had finally seen me. Still the creator who'd built an empire while everyone thought she was failing. Still the woman who'd brought homemade cookies to Christmas dinner because she liked baking and thought her family might enjoy them. The validation felt good. The recognition was satisfying. But the real victory had happened 6 years ago, the day I decided to build something meaningful regardless of whether my family understood it. Everything after that was just noise. My phone lit up one more time. A text from Mom. I love you. I'm sorry. I hope someday you can forgive me. I typed back slowly. Already have. See you soon, Mom. And for the first time in 6 years I believed it.